Hey everybody, what's going on? It is James here with Crypto Common Sense. Wanted to shoot a market update video for you. It's September 5th. It's about 40 minutes before the daily close. Now I actually shot about a 25-minute video just before this, but I felt like it was the same thing that I've been saying pretty much on a daily basis for the last month and a half. So I wanted to focus on something different today. I wanted to focus on altcoins. I'll do a little sneak peek about Bitcoin in just a few minutes, but mainly I want to talk about altcoins today. Before I jump into the content, please do me a huge favor. Go ahead and hit that like button on the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget, you can check that little bell icon to get notifications for when my new videos come out, because they do come out at different times each day. After you like the video, if you like the video, I hope you do, please do me another favor and leave me a comment letting me know whether you're bullish or bearish, and let me know why. It's always fun to hear what other people's thoughts are, especially if maybe I'm missing something. So let's go ahead and jump into today's content. What I have pulled up right now is a chart that I've never shown in any previous videos before, because quite frankly, I didn't know it existed, right? I always do the total market cap video, and I do Bitcoin videos, I do Bitcoin dominance videos. I didn't realize that I could actually pull up a chart that showed the market cap without Bitcoin. I saw somebody posting a chart on Twitter. Now, they weren't sharing this theory. Their theory was completely different. It was something totally unrelated, but I thought, oh wow, I didn't know I could do that. So when I pulled up this chart, gosh, it would have been nice to see this thing back in June, but you know, better late than never. So essentially, this is our market. This is a monthly chart, so each candle represents a month of time. And what we had was we had our decline here, and then we had our pump here. Now you can just see we had green, 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 right? We had a parabolic advance on this monthly chart, but it was not the type of advance that you would expect to see when you consider what Bitcoin has been doing. Bitcoin went all the way up to the 61.8 Fibonacci level, whereas the altcoins only came up to the 23.6. This would have been much better to see the whole market do this, right? This would have been more of a sustainable type of growth. Because what's happening right now is now we've started to retrace back down, and so far we've broken down below. This is tough to see, I know. I have to zoom in a bit. But basically we're down below the 61.8, which is the golden ratio, and we're continuing to fall. What I find interesting about this is we've actually made a higher high here, which is a good sign, and I think we're going to make a higher low, which would be what I want to see. But I think if we're going to have an alt season, all right, I don't think we're there yet, but if we're going to have an alt season, I would suspect that it'll be when we bounce off of this blue line, if we get down that far, and if we of course bounce off of it. The reason I say that is there's a little bit of a theory that anytime you have a parabolic climb, not a little bit of a theory, it's a theory, that anytime you have a parabolic climb, you're typically going to retrace about 80%. So if I turn these old Fibonacci levels off, and we just look at the Fibonacci levels for this particular climb, okay, I'm going to change these levels. I'm going to get rid of my 78.6, and I'm actually going to make a 0.8 level. Well, I want the 78.6 to go away. Go away, 78.6. Okay, so my 0.8 level will be right around this area, and if you look, that lines up, it's just above this old high down here. So it would be very bullish if we can come down here and we can test this old high and find support on it. That to me would lead me to believe that what we're going to see next would be a climb to make a higher high. Basically, this would be our higher high, our higher low, and that we would go up and make a new higher high. Where at, I don't know. That's just a random place, but I'm drawing a circle. Okay, it has no particular meaning. I just mean to say that I would expect us to make a higher high, which means that we'd have our alt season finally. Okay, here's the thing that I find really interesting about this. The last alt season we had in 2017, it actually occurred in the fourth quarter. It was actually in the fourth quarter of 2017, the last alt season. And where are we at right now? We're just about to enter the fourth quarter in October. Okay, so if September ends up being a bad month for alts and alts end up bleeding more this month, it's very possible that we get down and tag this line at some point in September, and October could be the next, the kickoff of the next alt season. That would be freaking amazing, would it not? Right? Now at the same time, I want to pull up a quick chart of Bitcoin. Again, I want to focus on alts today, but I want to pull up this quick chart of Bitcoin because look, it's very possible that's not the chart I want to look at. I want to look at a daily chart. I don't even want anything on my chart, okay? It's very possible that what we're going to see is Bitcoin is actually going to also come down 80%. And if it does retrace 80% in September, that would put the price down around $5,200. Now, I don't think it would stop there. I've talked about this in past videos. It's possible. It's very possible that it could stop there. But I still have a feeling that we're going to sneak all the way down. Not that low. Whoa, not that low. Right around this $4,100 area, right? Because that was our old line of resistance, and it's very, very normal market behavior to come down and test those old resistances. Plus, again, just real quickly, this does line up with, we have a gap down in that area. If we're looking at this huge range, we have a gap down there. We also have support right here, so it could be that we stop there. That support lines up nicely with the 61.8 fib, so there's some arguments to be made for that. But if we zoom in and we only look at the rally, okay, so that time basically from the bottom in December up until now, we have this huge gap right here, and we have this. Let me get rid of this stuff. It's really bothering my OCD. And I'm not joking, I have terrible OCD. But we do have this gap. Well, holy hell, if TradingView would let me draw on the chart. We do have this gap right here that lines up really beautifully with that old high, those old resistances. So I do think it's very, very feasible. And how amazing would it be if this thing can drop down, Bitcoin can drop down, find support down in that area, right, at the same time that we watch these alts. Remember, these are the alts without Bitcoin, so Bitcoin dropping down would not pull this down. But if Bitcoin fell down to that area and alts fell down to this area at the same time, I would probably be more bullish on cryptocurrency than I've ever been in my life. That would probably be what I would call the perfect storm, where I wanted to go really, really hard at crypto, meaning I wanted to invest a significant portion of my discretionary funds. Right, I'm never going to put in money in crypto that if I lost that it would bankrupt me. I'm never going to put in money in crypto where I go out and mortgage my house to buy cryptocurrency. Once in a while I might joke around about that kind of stuff. Oh, if I saw $1,300 Bitcoin, I'd mortgage my house. I wouldn't really do that. Okay, it's not a lottery. I'm not playing a lottery here. I'm making an investment. Okay, I'm only going to invest what I can truly afford to lose. Now, when I say afford to lose, I don't mean like, oh, it's no big deal. I mean like if I lost it, it wouldn't put me on the street, right? I have money invested right now that if I went to zero, it would be, I would cuss a lot, right? I would definitely want to break something if it went to zero. So I do have a significant amount of money invested in cryptocurrencies, and I always have ever since 2017, right? I didn't cash out the money I made, right? All the money that I made, I just kept reinvesting in the market, and even now, I'm mostly cashed out to fiat, but even now, I have alts that are worth multiple 5 figures, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just, it was right place, right time. I invested some money in 2017, and some of those alts popped. For example, I had Stellar that, even though it's way, way down from where it was, I bought it when it was 3 cents. So for me, I'm still up, right? I'm almost up double on that. And I had other alts that I bought very, very low, like EOS. I had EOS that I bought under $1. Right, so yes, it's way down right now compared to where it was a few months ago at $8 or $9. Yes, it's way down compared to the $24 it was in 2018. But for me, I'm still up 500 or 600% on that investment, and that's the reason that I didn't cash that stuff out. I wish like hell I had. I mean, just full disclosure, I wish I had saw this. I wish I had thought, oh God, we're hitting resistance here, right? But I didn't see this, and I'd already cashed out all of my Bitcoin. I'd already cashed out all of my Litecoin. And I thought, well, shit, I don't want to go too crazy here. I want to at least hedge my bets a little bit. So unfortunately, I chose a poor hedge. I chose to hold some of my alts, mainly because I didn't want to eat the capital gains. Right now, they're long-term capital gains. So if they go up, again, like for example with EOS, if it goes back up to $20 or $30 and I cash it out, I want to pay long-term capital gains tax, not short-term capital gains tax. And if I cash it out right now, or if I cash it out in June, then I would have to start all over. That clock would start all over. My 1-year timeline would start now, and I have a suspicion that it's going to go much higher at some point in the next 12 months. So, right now it sucks because I'm down over 50% in the last 2 months on those alts, but that is the way it works. OMG was another one. You know, I should have cashed it out when it was $3, $3.50, whatever it was in June. Now it's down to a freaking $1.03. So I'm down about 67% on that damn coin, right? But overall, this is what I'm looking at. If we can bounce off this line, and especially if Bitcoin comes down with it. Now, I don't want to see just alts come down and not Bitcoin, because then the danger is that alts look like they're getting ready to pump, and they start to pump, and then Bitcoin comes down. And of course, when Bitcoin comes down, everything comes down, and it would just yank these right down into the oblivion, right? So I would much rather see this come down to right around that 80% level at the same time that Bitcoin also comes down to this, you know, level down here. I wouldn't have to be all the way down to 4,200 again. You know, if we're drawing the Fibonacci levels, I think 5,200, right around this area, around 5,200, 5,300, I would feel pretty good, right? If Bitcoin came into that area at the same time the alts came down, I'd feel really, really bullish. And what I would do is I would just load up. Right, I would load up on Bitcoin, and I would load up on the alts that I believed in, and I would look to ride those things for the next probably 6 to 12 months. Okay, now cashing out along the way. Let me be very clear about that. Taking profits along the way. I don't ever want to get into another situation that I got into the last time where I didn't know the market well enough to know when to take profits. I rode Stellar from 3 cents all the way to 92 cents, and I took 0 profits. Right, even at 92 cents, I thought, oh, it'll probably just keep going up. You know, that's what happens when you're new to a market. Same thing with Verge. I rode Verge from a half a cent all the way up to 30 cents. I sold most of my Verge, but then when it fell back down to like 22 cents, maybe it was 18 cents, I don't remember the exact number. It was high, 18 cents or 22 cents, somewhere in that ballpark. I bought it all back, right? And then it crashed to half a cent all over again. So all I really did in that situation was I realized a huge capital gain, a short-term capital gain when I sold for 30 cents. I bought it back for 18 cents or 22 cents, whatever it was, and then I rode it all the way back down. So I had to pay a shitload of taxes on Verge, and the taxes that were due on Verge were actually higher than what the coin is actually worth, right? So my entire investment, I ended up paying taxes, and I have nothing to show for it. Totally screwed myself. So yeah, you'll never catch me holding a coin to the top and then riding it all back down to the bottom again. And you also won't catch me, you know, selling a coin at or near the top and then being in a huge rush to buy it back, you know, at 18 friggin' cents when, you know, it just pumped 2,000%. That was insane. Totally stupid, right? One thing I want to point out, and I just saw this, I was actually getting ready to do the video, and then I happened to click Yahoo. It was like an OCD habit, and this story was on Yahoo, so I'm going to pull it in real quick. I actually hate Yahoo. I hate their ads. I hate mainly everything about the site, but I have an old email account from like 2003, and it's a Yahoo account, so I'll go there sometimes to check my email. But I saw this story, thought it was interesting, wanted to share it real quickly. Basically what it's saying is fewer people are sending Bitcoin to these big exchanges, fewer people are trading it. You can see here, this is the actual trading volumes, and you can see that it's basically just, you know, it's terrible. Which is what I've been saying for a couple of months. I've been saying that retail investors are not driving this rally, that this is manipulation. And I've had a lot of people disagree with me, basically tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Well, let's just assume that these people do know what they're talking about. Basically, there's this fund or this analyst company, Token Analyst, right, out of London. And basically what they're saying is that this information, this study, signals a lack of retail interest in general currently in crypto, right? Basically, they're saying that there's just not a lot of retail interest in crypto right now. Everybody knows that. Well, everybody should know that, right? If they're not blinded by their FOMO. It says, if we go by the Bitcoin as a safe haven in times of recession narrative, the number of new users and buyers should actually be increasing. But it's not. Because again, what's driving the price is not new people coming into crypto. What's driving the price is the same thing that I've been saying for the last month and a half. It's alts capitulating. It is people selling their alts back to Bitcoin. That is what's propping the price of Bitcoin up. It's why the price of alts continues to fall while the price of Bitcoin basically stays flat. Okay, look at this real quickly. Again, we're talking about alts here. Bitcoin has not been going down for the last 2 months. For the last 2.5 months, Bitcoin has been going sideways. But while Bitcoin is going sideways, when we take a look at our alts, right? Okay, so this is a weekly Bitcoin chart, okay? And if we look at a weekly alts chart, look what alts have been doing since June. This was the top in June, and since then alts have just been dying. Just basically parabolic down, right? 45-degree angle going down on alts, while Bitcoin has moved sideways. Now, you tell me that that's retail interest and not alts capitulating. We both know it's nonsense. We both know that what's happening is this money is simply flowing from alts into Bitcoin. It's propping the price up. Well, there's not a whole lot of room left for this to fall, right? And when this runs out of room to go down, guess what happens? This little bubble right here, it's over, right? All the air that's leaking out of alts to keep this balloon inflated, this bubble inflated, when the alt money runs out, this bubble pops. And that is why I've been calling this an echo bubble. Okay, and now I finally have a firm, an analyst firm, that is basically coming out with data to back up exactly what I've been saying. Retail money is not pouring into the space. New investors are not coming into the space. You don't see your friends and family talking about crypto and buying Bitcoin because it's not happening. If we go to Google Trends, you're going to see the same thing. If I do a search in Google Trends for Bitcoin, look at this. It had a peak back in June, and we're basically down around here. Right now, we're sitting at 30. The last time interest was 30 in Bitcoin was basically, ready for it? Oh, let's go back. We don't go back that far. Let's go back 5 years. So after the top in 2017, interest got down to 30. Sometime between February and March is when interest fell down to 30. So we're now way back down there. Right? Interest is, actually it's saying 7 now. Interest is at 7. I don't know why it was saying 30 a minute ago. That's weird. But interest is basically at the same level it was at in, the end of 2018 and the end of the bear market. This is bear market territory. I mean, bottom line, look, interest is just not there. So that's kind of what I think on altcoins. For those of you that are holding out hope that there's going to be an alt season, I think there's good news. I don't want you to look at this video and say, oh God, this is terrible news. No, I think this is excellent news. I think what's really about to happen is I think Bitcoin is finally about to correct the way that it should have a long time ago. And I think alts are about to hit this really important level down around the 80% retracement. It's not a Fibonacci level. It's an 80% retracement of this move. And if so, that's perfect. That's what we want. We want a higher high, a higher low, and then a higher high. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a confirmed bull market. That is what we want. We want the same thing with Bitcoin. We want a higher high, a higher low. Remember, this would still be a higher low, and then a higher high. And that, again, would be a confirmed bull market. That is what we want. We want to see a pullback to this level. With all that being said, please remember I'm literally some guy sitting in a spare bedroom. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. You should always do your own due diligence and seek out professional investment advice before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure and give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. Also, don't forget you can check the description for links where you can follow me on TradingView, Twitter, and also where you can join my free Facebook group. This is James with Crypto Common Sense. Trade safe.